Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good? I apologize, there's no headphones in today, so you can't get me directly into your ears, but hopefully there's not a lot of background noise that you hear, and you can just still hear your boy. Oh, I gotta itch my eyeball socket. Okay. Um, this show is only getting better with time. I think it's scary how much information we don't have throughout this whole show. We only have two factions, and both of these teams, if either of them lose, we we're just left with a world that is full of curses, and that's about it, right? Like we know little to nothing about this actual world because they're doing so much character building that it makes you wonder, is there a third party out there that has different plans than the people we're watching who are making all their plans? Is there a different type of faction outside of the sorcerers that fight curses that we don't know about? Like there's very little amount of anything given to us outside of these two groups, being the sorcerers and being the people the sorcerers are fighting. Um, we also see there's no real like true camaraderie in the group of people like curses and some humans, because as soon as one of the guys see the plant monster fall over and missing an arm and completely beaten and shattered, which I still think this plant could probably beat him. um, Maybe not, because the plant did get hit by the strongest character and somehow survived, so you already did enough, right? um, but knowing that there's not much more in the works of the background, right? If we go and have a full out war and our sorcerers win, who are they gonna fight? Who comes after them, right? Like who is actually threatening enough, like these people who have been building up to continuously have a reputation throughout this whole entire show, to do anything. And that's my one gripe with it, is there's no real external forces, right? But with that being said, everything else is amazing. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of baseball, and I know a lot of people aren't. But this episode was still funny. It was still cool. It took me back to the days when I was watching almost every anime back in the day that had baseball episodes, like baseball cameos in them and stuff. So I am not a hater of it, especially when they just got interrupted. Everybody knows about some people losing lives and dying, and some people injured. So instead of having these people fight yet again as hard as they can and try to kill curses and blah blah blah, just have a baseball game and settle it. It was very very out of left field, no pun intended. But it was still good nonetheless, to the point where we're learning what the characters are going through after this battle. They're understanding each other and their strengths and their weaknesses to be able to capitalize in the future of any types of encounters. That if I'm bad at getting at long range, well then get the thing close to me so I can do some damage. So it's stuff like that, little tiny things that they learned about each other, that were really cool. But on the flip side of all of it, we're really close to the season finale, and to know that there's only these two factions going against each other and battling, it worries me to see if there's other villains. And I only say that because villains are very, very hard to make good. And sometimes they're really hard to make consistent and then make them capable of losing, right? Because sometimes, like Aizen or Madara, they get too strong in the author's own writing. The writers usually make these characters so powerful and so ridiculously dope that sometimes they themselves don't know how to write them out of the story, right? So that's what it kind of feels like is going on. Everything that these villains have been doing, they're getting away with it. Half of the time, they're not even getting any consequence. Like right now, they got no consequence on this besides one of their teammates coming back super beaten up, and then some guy who keeps talking about a coat rack making a skin out of people got captured that they really don't care about, right? And they got the information of how the Black Veil would work against him, the main superhero of this whole, the main sorcerer of this all. Um, it didn't work. Like it worked for a little bit, but it got dispelled. It got taken care of. So there's other things they still need to do to be able to try to seal him away. And whatever that Black Veil was, it ain't doing it, Chief. So everything popping off is getting to a point where we're just left wondering what's going to happen. This episode is the most um, balanced filler, non-filler episode because there's nothing really to take from it towards the end, besides the fact that all the students made it out alive and that maybe they can work together with this person they were just trying to kill, seeing how he's capable of fighting on a special grade level and side by side by the strongest sorcerer in the students' roster. So, with all that being said, let me know what you guys are thinking about this week's episode. I will definitely talk to you in the next one. I'm your boy, the Anime G, and I will be dropping another video for sure later tonight, if not 2 videos. So, with that being said, peace.